Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido, and today it is the Levincia Wonders going up against the Holon Allies, and both these sides are still looking to make their debut in Victory Road. But with that said, let's have a look at this tale of the tape, because for the Levincia Wonders, that is a tall task right now, because they are currently sitting on the bottom of the leaderboard, but we are far from the end of the season, so they can still work their way back in. Whereas for the Holon Allies, they've been able to build a little bit of momentum lately, and they want that to continue. As we said, they want to make their debut in Victory Road. But with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think's going to win this matchup. Will it be the Lightning decks? Will it be the Rainbow decks? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And going first in this matchup, it is going to be the Team Friendship deck of the Holon Allies with the Eevee in the active spot. They've got the Carablast and the Drawbar on the bench. For the Wonders, they're going with their Ruins of Conflict deck, and they've got the Blitzel in hand that they have moved into the active spot. We can see the two Luxios and the Luxray that they've got in hand, plus the Rare Candy. The Allies have pulled their second Drawbar, and we can already see the Sylveon in hand, plus that Guzma as they send it over to the Wonders, pulling their Zeb Striker already. This is fantastic for the Wonders, but they can't go on the offensive yet because Blitzer requires 2 energy, as does Zeb Striker as well. It is the Allies who do pull their Penny card though. This can allow them to use a supporter card inside the deck of the Wonders, and this deck does generate Psychic and Metal type energy, as they can use the Sophocles, but that is of no benefit to the Allies right now. But it would be if they had the Vikavolt on the bench, so they're having a look at what they want to do. Eevee getting that Psychic energy. Sylveon does require at least 2 energy to go on the offensive here. That Evo Harmony does do additional damage as well for every evolved Pokemon on the bench of the Holon Allies. They do get their Sylveon online as well, and then their turn there as the Wonders pull the Togedemaru, immediately moving that onto the bench, and they're going to get the Zeb Striker online as well. A very fortunate play for the Allies to get the Sylveon online, because this Headbolt does 70 damage, and Sylveon already being brought down to 20 health. That would have discarded Eevee from the board. It's the Excadrill though being pulled for the Holon Allies, who only requires 1 metal energy that has been generated and will be generated on the next turn, but Sylveon still requiring an additional energy does get the metal energy, 70 damage of its own onto Zeb Striker here. As it comes back over to the Wonders, they get the Shinx, and as we said, they've already got the Luxio and the Luxray in hand, but they do have that Rare Candy as well, so they get Shinx online, getting it its first Lightning energy, and another Headbolt from Zeb Striker, wiping Sylveon here off the board as the Wonders take the first point in our game 1 of this 3-game series. For every game that the team wins in a series, they get 2 points towards the leaderboard, but we still count the damage and the total points they take from the opposition. As the Eevee bag is pulled for the Allies, it's Excadrill in the active spot with that slash 50 damage, wiping Zeb Striker immediately off the board in response to losing Sylveon. A fantastic response, as both these sides now have 1 point each. And the Wonders thinking about how they want to approach this, and they choose to go with the Shinx in the active spot. Now Luxray does require 3 energy, and they do pull their second Luxray as well, but it has that intimidating Fang that does reduce the damage that Luxray takes, but instead they're going with the Luxio, so they can go on the offensive here. Luxio does have 80 health, and with this Headbolt it does 50 damage to the Excadrill, bringing it down to 60 health remaining. And the Allies now pulling their Espeon, but they don't have another Eevee in hand, and we'd like to let people know as well that the Holon Allies all have 1 Eevee EX card. They're the only decks in the series that have been permitted to use an EX card, and that was because of the Eevee growth sets that they could draft from to allow them to maximize the evolutions in that set. As the Tapu Koko is pulled for the Wonders, they do get the Luxray online after that Luxio just took the slash from Excadrill, and there's that third energy for that Electro Ball on Luxray, 90 damage, wiping Excadrill off the board. And this is a very highly offensive first game already between these two sides, trying to make quick work of each other. The Wonders only need 1 more point to take game 1 here. And the Allies opt in to go with the Drawbar in the active spot. Now it does have that type advantage over the Lightning types, as it is a ground type, a fighting type card here. And there is the Eevee being pulled and immediately moved onto the benches. They do get an energy onto the Drawbar. It is a Psychic type energy, and it does do 0 damage to the Luxray thanks to that intimidating Fang. That scratch only does 10 damage. They can't capitalize on a weakness though if it's brought down to 0, which is fantastic for the Wonders, because this Electric Ball wipes Drawbar off the board, and just like that, the Levincia Wonders have taken game 1. And as we have our first table reset, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please leave a like and subscribe so don't miss out on any of the action in the PokeType League TCG. But we immediately go into game 2 here. It's the Angel Grove deck for the Allies. They've got 2 Eevee bags and 2 Kiawis in hand. They've got the Eevee moving on to the active spot for the Wonders. It is the Alolan Geodude from their Blush Mountain deck, and we can see the 2 Alolan Golems plus the Heliolisk that they've got in hand. They've also got the Rare Candy, as the Allies do pull the Poison Barb, but they choose not to play that here, knowing that Geodude can't go on the offensive because it does require 2 energy. The Wonders have just pulled the Alolan Graveler as well, and they get a first energy here onto the Geodude as it comes back over to the Allies. They pull their Guzma, and they're currently only generating Darkness type energy. This deck also does generate Fire type energy. They get the Poison Barb onto the Eevee. They want to try and deter the Wonders from going on the offensive, and they can use that Growl to reduce the damage that Eevee will take in the next turn by 20 from the Alolan Geodude here, as the Wonders pull their second Heliolisk. Now the Knuckle Punch from Geodude does do 40 damage. They can evolve it into the Graveler, which looks like what they're going to do, but it won't be able to go on the offensive because it does require 3 energy. They also have a look at the Alolan Golem. They've got the Rare Candy in hand. They can play that, but instead they're just going with the Knuckle Punch. They want to get the 20 damage onto the Eevee. They bring it down to 40 health remaining, but the poisoning now is going to start to afflict Geodude thanks to that Poison Barb. As the Allies, they pull the Penny. We saw this earlier. They can capitalize on a supporter card inside the deck of this Blush Mountain deck. And again, it is a Sophocles, but this time there's no hope for them capitalizing because there's no Pokemon inside this deck that can use it for the Allies. But this is not good because they have not got a benched Pokemon either. They are going to use the Eevee bag as they get a second energy onto the Eevee, but they can only use Effect 1, and that won't even work because this Growl does 0 damage. It only reduces the damage that the Geodude can do, and this is fantastic for the Wonders as they pull their second Graveler. They immediately get that online, and it does cure it of the poisoning. They get a third energy onto it with this heavy impact, 60 damage. It wipes the Eevee off the board, and because they have an empty bench, immediately this Blush Mountain deck is going to take game 2. And now the Wonders have just ensured that they will lock up this series, but for the Allies, they still have a chance to get points towards the leaderboard in this game 3, and they will be going first after this final table reset, and they are going to be using their Tropical Takedown deck. And I don't know why I said that they could use the Sophocles in the first matchup, because this is the deck they have that has the Vikavolt here, as they do get an Eevee into the active spot. It is the Zeraora from the Lost Thunder deck of the Wonders, the Glaceon being pulled. We can see the Charger Bug plus the 2 Jolteons and their own Sophocles in hand for the Allies. It goes back over to the Wonders, who do pull the Xurkitree, and they've got a Galvantula in hand plus the Beast Wall, the Beastite, and the Electrical Cord. They do get a first energy onto the Zeraora here, and they are able to finish their turn, and thanks to the Thunderclap Flash ability, they're able to generate a second energy for the Zeraora, as here is the Vikavolt for the Allies. They can get a Jolteon online, and with this beginning bolt, as they are currently generating lightning energy, it does 40 damage, but it does an additional 20 on the turn it evolves in here, so it will get 60 damage onto the Zeraora. But they need another basic Pokemon. They don't want a repeat of what just happened in game 2 for their deck to brick and not get the cards needed. It is the Guzma being pulled for the Wonders as well, and they do get a lightning energy onto the Xurkitree plus the electrical cord onto the Zeraora, immediately getting 50 damage with this lightning claw onto Jolteon. The Allies, they need to pull a basic Pokemon, and they get the Rare Candy. This is not good for them at all. They have generated another lightning energy, but that is irrelevant. This beginning bolt, 40 damage onto Zeraora, so they're going to be able to take a point here, discarding it from the tables. The Allies, with this Tropical Takedown deck, have just taken the first point. The electrical cord allows a lightning energy to be moved to Xurkitree. It needs 1 more energy to go on the offensive. It immediately gets moved into the active spot. This Electronica, though, does 60 damage. They've just pulled the Professor's Research. They're still going to play it just in case it benefits them. They get the Galvantula, they get the Oricorio. Realistically though, the win condition is right here for the taking, and with this Electronica, they're going to wipe Jolteon off the board, and for the second game in a row, the Allies have bricked, and this allows the Wonders to capitalize and clean sweep this series in what may be our quickest series ever, as the Wonders jump all the way up to 7th, and next round they are going up against the Cinnabar Blazers, whereas for the Allies, they've got the bye next round, but after that, they're going up against the Kitakami Rogues. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below what cards you pulled today, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, send thanks, and I will see you when you see me.